Hi everyone, welcome to my first daily edition. So, in today's daily edition, I'm going to be talking about my working plan, in which I'll talk about my work, as well as my goals, my problems, my time organization, and a lot of other factors that I want to incorporate into this week's work. Yeah. Alright, so let's first start with the work for this week. Firstly, the main work, I'm going to be continuing with one of the factors of the business model, and this factor is going to be the cost structure of the business model. So the reason why I want to move on to the cost structure is because I've already covered that Vortex is actually a subscription-based pricing. However, for this week's cost structure, I want to talk about how the channels correlate directly to subscription-based pricing and the cost effects and the factors that can affect, change, or evaluate the cost structure. So next is going to be my De2, in which I'm going to be focusing on mobile coding. The reason why I want to focus on mobile coding is to basically have more of an extension from last week's work, which was mobile layout for websites, specifically in the creative industries. And lastly is going to be the D3, which will be sent in for this week. However, I will also have to do last week's D3 because I haven't done it yet, and I did make sure that people knew that I couldn't do it. And last week's D3 is going to be about data cleansing, in which I asked ChatGPT or some to basically create a bunch of messed up data, and I have to use Haonam's methods to solve them. Now, I'm going to be talking about my goals and time and organization. So, since this week for holiday, Independence Day, I believe, me and my dad are actually going down to my grandparents. So, the time that I'll be using to do my work is going to be mainly Sunday, in which I'll try my best to get the main work, the two, done. So, that's going to be how I structure my work, as well as try and do the bonus D3 as well. And that's going to be my working plan for this week. Thanks for listening and have a great day.